Hello, my name is Adam Winrich, and here's some Bullwhips I just made. They're for a female Western performer named Cheryl Bacon. Cheryl used to perform with John Brady, the legendary Australian whip artist, and I believe she got this set of old kangaroo hide bullwhips from John. I believe they're made by Tom Hill, and they are white because they were painted white. These have a lot of paint on them, and they're kind of old, so I convinced Cheryl to upgrade to some nylon whips so she can just keep these as a keepsake of her time with John. So these are 5-foot bullwhips with 10-inch handles, and my goal was to try to copy them. So I made 2 sets in an attempt to copy them. Let's see which, let's take out the one set. So my basic model for building, or recipe for building a bullwhip is I'll cut a handle foundation out of graphite that's about 5/16 of an inch wide. And these whips are 10 inches long, sometimes I do 12 inches. And then I'll take 5 strands of paracord with a core in it, double that over, bind it over the handle, so now I've got 10 strands. And then those core strands will go about half the length of the whip. I'll sort of feather them out so they taper. Then I'll braid a 12-plait belly over that goes about 6 inches past the end of the core. And then I'll do my 16-strand overlay. On these ones, I ended with a 4-plait point with nothing in the core, and then a fall that is basically 2 strands thick. Now, I don't do any extra binding in the transition of my whips. You can see it's got a pretty nice curve right there. Really, all I do is I'll bind on those initial core strands over the handle, and then a little bit past the end of the handle, and then that's it. And then if I want this to be tighter or looser, I just make my braiding tighter or looser, because something about parachute cord is that as you use it, it never gets looser, it only gets tighter. I think if some whip makers have problems with their transitions loosening or falling apart on the paracord whips, that's because they only did plaited bellies, they never did straight strands of parachute cord running through the transition, because if you do braiding, sometimes that can slip and fall apart in the transition. So that's why I only do sort of bound strands for the core, 1 belly, and then the overlay. Here's a couple photos that show my build process. So I did make 2 sets, and I made each one a little bit different. Like I said, this set ended with a 4-plait point. The other set that I made, I put some patterns in the handles, and I also ended with a 2-strand twist in the point. Sometimes that makes multiple cracking easier. I also put a little bit of ball chain, just a little bit, in about this much of the whip, and both sets of whips were dipped in paraffin wax. So that's the second set I made. I'll probably include a couple close-up photos of both these sets, and the set of older whips made by Tom Hill, and I'll also show a better photo of these guys. Well, it's a video of an old pair of whips and my attempt to recreate them in nylon, so Cheryl Bacon can go on performing with something that's easier to maintain. If you have any questions about whip making, I would look up Nick Schrader's videos on whip making on YouTube. He has some very comprehensive videos that are at least 1 hour to 2 hours long. He'll show you everything you need to know about how to make a whip. Well, my name is Adam Winrich. If you have any questions for me, you can always email me at info@winrichwhips.com. Thanks for watching.